Go to bed, guys. If you are going to go to sleep and you are gonna miss this one, it's fine. You can watch it tomorrow. But there are other persons who are, night birds that want to have one this late. So I can help those people. Do you guys really want to sleep though, or do you just think you want to sleep? I'm just checking. Because I can begin because you're still here. No, I don't. No, I don't have school in the morning. Hey, little Nate. All right. So I will begin. If you have objections to me starting, just let me know. Okay, everybody's quiet, so that means I should start. All right, so one is not tired, one is asking me to do it tomorrow. Lil Nate says go on with it. So two says yes, one says no. Three for yes. So three yes, one no. All right. Four, five. Well, four and a half. Because checkmate is not sure. Checkmate, it seems like you're gonna fall asleep on me. All right, so we're gonna begin. So we're looking at the 2011 paper this time around. So the first map is a little blurry, so we can just skip the map. I want you to get through all of them before your exam actually starts. That's the aim. So we can just skip the map. All right, so we can work with this one first. So we're basically at number 4 already. All right. Selector Sani. Yes, Selector, you are correct about the terrace. We clarified it after the video, and I commented on quite a number of persons own who actually pointed it out to say that it is a terrace. Um, um, I think we explained it in one of the live as well, but maybe you were not there. Okay, so we're at number 4 for the 2011 paper. This question is asking about straight line distance, so we're not going to work it out. I'll just remind you exactly how you do this quickly. when you are actually in your exam. So straight line distance, you get a strip of paper, find the part that you're starting from and where you are going. So this says from Brishin Castle and Sangre Grande. So you would go from here, place your paper here, stretch it across here, mark off this point where it starts, mark off that point where it stops, and then you would place it along your scale here, and then you write down your answer, which you would get in miles. That's how you would do a question like that. For number 5, this question, we have seen this a lot of times, lots and lots of times. A scale of 1 to 10,000 on a map would indicate what exactly? So since this has no unit of measurement, it is just saying that the 1 unit on the map represents 10,000 units on the ground. So for 5, it would have been letter B. For number 6, the feature shown, which we cannot see, so we'll skip that one as well. We can't do 7 either because we can't see the picture. So we will just jump to items 8 and 9. That is cruise ship passengers visiting Caribbean island in 1989. So we have seen questions like this. We have seen questions like this a lot. So most of the first part of your paper is going to ask you to work something out. Some form of graph or something like that. So the lowest number of visitors in any month. So you're just looking at the months and then you're looking for the lowest one. And it is over here. That is the lowest one. That looks like September. The amount is 30. You have to pay attention to what the axis is telling you, the axis title. So it says that this is in 30,000s. So your answer would have been 30,000, which is letter C. Number 9, the largest number of visitors arrived during, and it gives you the seasons. So largest number of visitors is within these months here. And those months are between June, July, August. So that would have been in the summer period. So that is letter B for number 9. Items 10 to 11. Good job, little Nate. All right, I see you're awake, man. That's nice. The landform shown at Y. Y is right here. So we look at the height of it. It's only 80 meters above sea level. So for that one, we would say that it is a hill. That is letter A. So number 10, hold on. For number 10, it is letter A for a hill. It might be said that it is a ridge because a ridge is the narrow part of a high area. That's what a ridge is, the narrow part of a high area. But when you look at this area, this is not really representing the narrow part of the high area at all. It is actually showing you the peak, the actual hill. So if we were to say it's the narrow part, it would have been over this side where Y is. So it is the actual peak that it is showing us. So the landform shown at Y is actually a hill. Number 11, the contour interval in meters in the diagram above. So it's basically asking you what you count it by. So you have 40, then 50, then 60, then 70. So you go up by 10. So the answer for number 11 would have been letter A. For number 12, 12 to 13 refers to the following maps. Again, I think I said this before on one of the other live that we did. You should note that almost half of your paper, a lot of your paper, is basically showing you things relating to graph, charts, diagrams, and map work, things that you have to work out. So you have to be very, very quick on those. Okay. So quite a number of persons got the contour interval right. You have seen that question a whole lot of times. So you just ensure that you remember them and you understand what it means so that you are able to answer the question. So for number 12, what is the location of St. Petersburg? So, and we've seen this as well. So St. Petersburg is here. It is on the 60-degree north line and it is on the 30 degrees east line. So it is 60 degrees north and 30 degrees east. So for number 12, your answer is letter D. So location of St. Petersburg, 60 degrees north and 30 degrees east. All right, for number 13, what time is it in New Orleans when it is 10 p.m. on Monday in St. Petersburg? So we are seeing these questions a lot as well for you to calculate time on a map like this. So New Orleans when it is 10 p.m. on Monday in St. Petersburg. So it is 10 p.m. on Monday here. And we are going to New Orleans. So we're going to the west. So that means we're going to subtract time. And 15 degrees equal 1 hour. So when you pay attention to the lines, don't get mixed up with the lines. The lines actually have 30 degrees. So that would have been 2 hours. So just pretend as if the 15-degree line is there. And we're going to here. The time of St. Petersburg was 10 p.m. on Monday. So it is 10 p.m., 9 p.m., 8 p.m., 7 p.m., 6 p.m., 5 p.m., 4 p.m., 3 p.m., 2 p.m. So it is 2 p.m. at New Orleans and it is still on Monday. So the answer for number 13 is letter C. Hold on. I'm seeing letter D from Kyle. Hello, Kyle. I think it's the first time we've had you on a live. I'm seeing letter D, but since it is 10 p.m. on Monday, when we go back, it is still going to be in the afternoon, still Monday afternoon, so it is 2 p.m. on Monday. So the answer for number 13 would have been letter C. For 14 and 15 we can't see clearly. Well, kind of. It's asking the settlement pattern at X, but the fact that we can see this line like this, it kind of looks like a road, so maybe it would have been a linear pattern, maybe. And then we have 15. Which of the following best describes a stretch of coastline? All right, I can imagine what this question is because we have seen it on quite a number of other papers. I don't know if you remember, but we have seen this one on quite a number of the other papers. So we could see here the key that this one is representing sand, and all along the coastline here you can see that same symbol. So it is telling you that the coastline is sandy, and the other thing is that the coastline is pretty straight. So we're not seeing a lot of curves, we're not seeing a lot of bays along the coastline either, because we have done this question before. So it is 1 and 2. So the coastline is straight, it is sandy. Let us see if it is northwest to southeast trending. Pretty much. Kind of northwest to southeast trending. So for number 15, we would say that our answer is letter D. It's a little difficult to see, but it looks like letter D. Riyadh, when you're asking how is it straight, when we say straight, we don't necessarily mean from north to south. When we say straight we mean without major curves. So the coastline would normally have some bays or some cliffs jutting out into the sea, so you would see different variations in the coastline. But this one, it basically cuts across. So there's no, right, like Lil Nate is saying, there's no zigzag there or any turns. It basically cut right across. You're not seeing any indentations or anything like that. So that is why we are saying that it is straight. Okay. Um, Number 16, which of the statements below are true of most hurricanes? So they are calm in the center, they move across the Atlantic, they originate in the ITCZ, they decrease in strength over land. All right. So hurricanes are calm in their center and they do move across the Atlantic and they decrease in strength whenever they come up on land. But they do not normally form close to the equator where the ITCZ is. So the ITCZ one, ITZ, why is it saying ITZC? Anyway, the ITCZ is not normally relating to the hurricane. So it is 1, 2, and 4 for our answer. So it would have been letter B for number 16. Number 17. Barbados has a population density of approximately, all right, so let's look at Barbados. We have seen this question before as well on another paper. It's 166 for the area and 278,580 persons for the population. So, population density. Density is basically talking about the number of persons per square mile in an area, in a specific area. So that means we are going to divide this number by the amount of square miles. So we will see the amount of persons that are actually living there. From my memory, though, I don't have a calculator right now, but from my memory, we've done this question probably 2 or 3 times. The answer is 1,678. All right, good. So I see a lot of person giving me that answer. I don't know if you worked it out or you remember from the past paper that we did as well. So that is Hadassah, Checkmate, Lil Nate, Hussein, Olani, and Stevens. So it's 1,678. So that answer is letter C. For number 18, a comparison of the population densities in the table above, okay, shows that this question was also on the other papers that we did. It shows that Guyana has approximately the same density as Trinidad and Tobago. So this is Guyana, this is Trinidad and Tobago, so that is not correct. They're not approximately the same. Guyana has a higher density than Jamaica. That's not true either, based on the numbers that are there. C, Barbados has a lower density. Barbados has a lower density than Jamaica. So Barbados was 1,678, lower than Jamaica. That's not correct either. D, Barbados has a higher density than Guyana. So that would have been correct. 1,678 is higher than Guyana's 9. So for number 18, our answer would have been letter D. For number 19, A correct relationship between longitude and time is that the time changes by 4 minutes for 1 degree, 1 minute for 4 degrees, 1 hour for 20 degrees, 24 hours for 180 degrees. So we know this one. I'm seeing some answers coming in now for number 18. Lil Nate got it right, and Dana got it right as well. Hello, Dana. Alia Hilton also got it right, and Ashelon. So for number 19, our answer is going to be letter A, that is 4 minutes for 1 degree. We know that 60 minutes equal 1 hour. 60 minutes equal 1 hour, and 1 hour is the same as 15 degrees. 1 hour is representing 15 degrees. So this one is very easy for you to mix up for letter A and for letter B as your answer. So some persons, I am seeing that you are mixing it up with A, and some persons are mixing it up with B. So remember that the one that is bigger is the minutes, because you have an entire 60 minutes, which is the same as your 1 hour. And it is representing only 15 degrees. So if you were to divide that 60 minutes if you were to divide 60 by 15, then you would have ended up with 4. So that is why we would say 4 minutes for the 1 degree. So the answer is letter A. All right, let me know if you understand it now. Or it was just a little mistake that you made, a little error, but you can't be making these errors in the actual exam. So for 19, the answer is letter A. Moving on to number 20. All right, so we have seen this question as well on a lot of the other papers that we did. Under which of the conditions shown above would the flow of a river vary most from season to season? So flow of a river vary most from season to season. So in one, there's no rainfall at all here. So the flow of the river, you would have less volume, which means you not have a lot of water in the river because there's no rain taking place here. So that is one season to the next season when there's a lot of rain. Here, this is fluctuating, but there is always rain. So there's not much variation taking place in 2. For 3, there's rain here, almost no rain here, and then when it gets to the other season, you have some amount of rain again. So these two would vary a lot from season to season. This one, it's not a whole lot of rainfall, but it's fluctuating within a specific range, and there is still rainfall throughout the time. So it would have been 1 and 3 for our answer, 1 and 3 only. So our answer for number 20 would have been letter B. Number 21, which of the graphs above shows the greatest variation in rainfall? So greatest variation is really talking about almost like a big jump from nothing to something, kind of like that, or the greatest difference in rainfall. So that would have been, I think, 1. Yes, 1, when you had absolutely nothing at all, and then there was just a whole lot of rain up to this point here. So that seems like 1, the one with the greatest variation in rainfall. 21 would have been letter A. I'm seeing a lot of new names tonight. Is it because we're doing a live in the night while you're here? Welcome. Dana, Selector, Hussein, And I saw another new name earlier, Hadassah, I think. So we have a different set of people in the night and a different set of people in the day. Okay. Ria, I think I saw Ria's name before. Guys, if you're new, ensure that you subscribe to the channel and like the video that we are currently doing, okay? That would be greatly appreciated. So we are now at number 22. So this paper is old, so it is a little blurry. Again, we're trying to finish all of the past papers, all of them, before you actually do your exam, because they're no use to you after your exam, any at all. So we're going through the ones that even if they don't look so visible, we still try to go through them so you can get to see it. All right, so select a study in the night. Olan is studying the night. Okay, cool. All right, so for 22, and Johnny. Hello, Johnny. First time I'm seeing you as well. Which of the following are problems associated with urbanization in the Caribbean? Urbanization in the Caribbean. All right. Lack of adequate housing and services, poor public transportation, decentralization of shopping facilities, unemployment, and underemployment. All right, so let's look at these. So, which of the following are problems that are associated with urbanization? So, urbanization is talking about the growth or the development of cities, right? So, if we're talking about the growth or development of cities, there are some problems that are basically common throughout Caribbean cities. One of them is certainly lack of adequate housing and services. Well, there's lack of adequate housing, but not necessarily services. So we will just look back at that one. Poor public transport. In urban areas, you do not necessarily have poor public transport either. There is usually a lot of taxis, a lot of things like that. So, um, let's see. Um, Problems associated with urbanization, decentralization of shopping facilities, and another one is unemployment and underemployment. So we are certainly sure that in the urban areas, there is usually unemployment and underemployment. So that one we are 100% sure about. Urban areas are usually overpopulated, so there are more people than the jobs that are available. So that will cause them to have a lot of people who are unemployed. So the persons from the rural areas would still be leaving to go to the city areas because to them it still seems as if there are a lot of jobs available. Um, Even though they are not thinking about the number of people who are already in that area looking to find that one job that they are going there to find. Um, so unemployment and underemployment is definitely in. So our answer for that one would have been either C or letter D because those are the only two that have four in it. So let's break down the others a little. Um, Lack of adequate housing is usually a problem in urban areas. So that is why you would always have the squatter settlements and lots of little houses all about the place, all over the place, and some people actually living in the cities. But what is added to this one, it says lack of adequate housing and services. In the city areas, that is where you normally have the best services. So because of that, we would have to take this one out as well. Um, Decentralization of shopping facilities. We don't normally, oh, wait. Since we're taking out one for sure, um, lack of adequate housing and services. I'm not sure why we have lack of adequate services, because services services would certainly be something that is available in cities. It would certainly be something that is available in cities. But since we are sure that we're adding four, this is basically how you're gonna go through the options for your multiple choice in order to figure out what your answer is going to be. So sometimes it is not clear cut as you would like it to be, but you have to work through it to figure it out, right? So, we're sure about four: unemployment and underemployment. We're 100% sure about that. So it is either C or D. We do notice that one is in all of the options. So even though we're sure that lack of adequate housing is usually a problem, lack of adequate services is not necessarily a problem, because remember, people would move, it's like a pull factor. People would move from the rural areas to go to the urban areas because of the services that are available. That is usually how it works. But again, we have to pay attention to the questions that we get and try to break it down to fit to see what our possible response is. So we're sure of four, and all of the questions have one, so we are putting one in there as well. And port public transport. So there is usually a lot of transportation, but it is not necessarily all great transportation either, right? So it said poor, it never said lack of public transportation. It said poor public transportation. So we would put poor public transportation there as well. Decentralization of shopping facilities is not something that we would add. So three would have been out. Um, the shopping facilities in an urban area are usually very centralized. They're just really in the urban area itself. So for this one, we would go with letter C. That is, it has one, two, and four only. Let me know what you think. All right, so you were having pretty much the same thoughts that I was having. That is very good. Okay, so we can move on to number 23 then. So I'm seeing selector saying letter C as well. Cool. So number 23, which of the following best explain why the prairie environment is well suited to commercial arable farming? So I explained some time ago that there was a time when farming on the Canadian prairies was a topic in the geography syllabus. For your year, which is now, it is not, it is no longer on the syllabus anymore. The syllabus was revised, I think, in 2015 or 2017. Okay, so um, farming on the Canadian prairies is no longer on the syllabus. So a question like this, you would not be seen on the syllabus any at all, but we can still work through it. So it says commercial arable farming. So we know about commercial farming already. For commercial farming, you're gonna have lots of machinery being used. You need very big pieces of land, and you are going to be growing your crop specifically for export. So let's looking through it. You have flat, which are the following best explain why. So best is in bold, flat or gently undulating land. So one is certainly in. You definitely need that for commercial farming. So we can see that one is in A, B, and C. Two, deep, rich soil. Three, cold, dry winters. Four, accessibility to markets. So we need the flatland, definitely. They have the deep, rich soil. Um, mm, the prairies, it is, I'm not sure about the cold and dry winters, but for commercial farming and the quantity of goods that you're going to be bringing, it needs to be it needs to be accessible to the market. So it would be 1, 2, and 4. Let's see. 1, 2, and 4. So for that one, our answer would have been letter B. Let me see what your responses are. So I have, all right, I'm from Jamaica, selector. So I have Lil Nate with B and kind of confused. B, 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 B. And Slay Ava with B. All right, so we're good. We have B. 24. 24 and 25 refer to the following maps. All right, and we have seen this one already before. We saw this on probably the 2009 paper and probably another older paper. We saw a question like this that we actually went through. All right, so 24 and 25 refer to the following maps of Tobago. Most of the area of forest vegetation shown on map C is found in areas with, so we're looking for areas with forest vegetation. So this one is showing us land use. So this is the one that will relate to forest. Um, this one is showing us rainfall, relief, or the height of the land. So there are three of them: relief, rainfall, and land use. Okay? All right. Most of the area of forest vegetation shown in map C is found where? So this is our forest vegetation. Look at the key and you see these lollipop looking things. Forest vegetation is right at the top center of the map here. Is found in areas with cocoa cultivation. So that would have been out because cocoa cultivation is around the forested area. B, 1,500 millimeters of rainfall. So that means you're going to look at your rainfall map to see if that is what it is showing. So this is where the forest is. And up here, it's the one with the bigger lines. So it's over 2,500 millimeters of rainfall. So B would have been out. C, low annual rainfall. Let's look back on the rainfall map here. Low rainfall is under 1,000 millimeters, so it would have been in white. That's not it either. And then D, the highest elevation. So we need to look at the relief map to see the elevation for that one. So the highest elevation, the dark spot here, is over 450 meters. And then around it, you have 300 to 450 meters. So those areas are the highest elevation. So the answer for number 20, what was that? 24, I think, would have been letter D. So Dana got it correct. Good job, Dana. And Olani got it right, and also Lil Nate. All right, so we are at number 25. The areas of coconut cultivation are area of coconut cultivation are, let me find the coconut cultivation first. Coconut cultivation is the dotted areas here. So it's this, this, and this for coconut cultivation. So let's see the options. Areas of coconut cultivation are under 150 meters in height. Let's check that one. We know where the coconut cultivation is, so we have to check the relief map. So under 150 meters in height is around the edges here, and this is under 150, so this is good. So 1 is certainly in. So all of the answers that have 1 in it would have been correct. And is only one option have 1 in it. That's letter A. So we can just go through the others just to check. But at the moment, it's only A that has 1 in it. So let us go through and just look at it again. 2, areas of coconut cultivation are 300 to 150 meters in height. We know where the coconut cultivation is, which is close to the edges around here. 300 to 150 meters in height. 300 to 450, I think this is. 300 to 450 meters in height. It would have been these areas that have these lines. So that would have been close to the top here. So that's not where we have the coconut cultivation. If you don't remember, let me just look again. All right, so this is coconuts, the dotted ones, right at the bottom, closer to the coastline. So B would have, not B, sorry, 2 would have been out. So any answer that has 2 in it is out as well. So that is this one and this one. So B and C is already out. Third one, have under 1,500 millimeters of rainfall. Rainfall is here. Under 1,500 millimeters of rainfall. So that is either the dotted ones here or white. So that is 1,000 to 1,500 or under 1,000. And we know where the coconut is, these areas. So all of it is under 1,500 millimeters of rainfall. So it is 1 and 3 so far. So we're still in the running for letter A. And the next one says have under 1,000 millimeters of rainfall. So if you look at the rainfall map again, just to be clear, you will see that it says 1,000 to 1,500. So all of these areas where we have the coconut here, so they have more than the 1,000 meters of rainfall. So 4 would also be out. So our answer for number 25 would have been letter A. Sahav, Olani getting it right, Dana, Selector, Alia Hilton, and Ria. Nice. Number 26. Hold on. Miss by chance, we can go faster, please. I would like. Boy. Okay. Tell you what. I can certainly go faster. I was trying to go into detail to ensure that everybody understands. But if you're good, if you get it, just let me know. And then we can run a little quicker. All right. But then again, I'm also going to save the live so that you can get to watch it tomorrow still. So just in case there are some people who really don't get it, I can just clear it up for them. So just let me know in the chat section, guys. Just say fast or slow, and then we can work with it. So I'll continue. I'll go to number 26, but just comment fast or slow and let me know. 26. Which of the following statements is not true of all volcanoes? A, they occur in, that's a little dull. I don't know. B, their eruptions are violent. Well, that is not true already. So for 26, not all volcanic eruptions are violent. So this is certainly out. So this is your correct answer for 26. 26 is B. So you have some volcanoes that are not violent, like the ones that have basic lava. They will they will take a longer time. Oh, sorry. You guys are stressing me because you say, all right, who have school tomorrow? If you have school tomorrow, you can go. I'm gonna save it so you can still watch it after. Okay? Or you can just, I don't know how you sleep, just let it put you to bed or something. Okay, but then you watch it tomorrow. All right. All right. I only see one comment that says slow. So, and nobody said fast. So we'll see. So everybody is good with 26. I see a lot of answers coming in for letter B. So that's fine. Number 27. We see this question a lot as well. Exfoliation, and then it always gets me talking about how you exfoliate your skin, and that is trying to peel off the dead layers, etc., etc., etc. So for exfoliation, um, it is any response speaking about peeling off the outer layer of the rocks. So disintegration of rocks, splitting of rocks, peeling off the outer layers of rocks, movement of rocks. So for 27, your answer would have been letter C. Um, Schools have closed in Jamaica, so they don't go to school. I mean, they only go back if they have a CSEC exam. Um, Plus with the coronavirus as well. 28. When magma emerges on the surface, it may lead to the formation of. So this is asking you about extrusive volcanic features. Extrusive volcanic features means the ones that are formed outside. That is where the lava cools and hardens on the earth, outside of the earth's surface or on the earth's surface. Those those are your extrusive features. Then you have intrusive features where magma cools and hardens inside the Earth's surface. So for 28, we only have one extrusive feature there, and that is lava flows. So we have laccoliths, dikes, and sills that are intrusive volcanic features. So the syllabus does not ask you to learn about laccolith anymore, but it still has batholith on it. So you can keep both of them in mind just the same, but it does not specify that you need to learn about laccolith anymore. That has changed. So I've seen a lot of people getting 28 right for letter A. Good job. 29. Which of the following features is most typical of wheat farming as practiced in the prairies of Canada? All right, so intensive mechanization, large labor force, multi-crop system, and small acreage. So even if you get a question like this and you don't know anything at all about Canadian prairies or what a prairie is, etc., first of all, wheat farming is a large scale farming. So you would take out small acreage because it said most typical, right? So you take out small acre. Um, Wheat farming, it told you specifically about one type of crop, so multi-crop system would have been out as well. The fact that it is a large scale farming and it is one type of crop, it means that they are highly mechanized. They have a lot of tractors and driving things and machinery that is going to be used to basically cut or work on the farm, so they do not need a large labor force. So for 29, your answer would have been A, which is intensive mechanization. Is batholith the same as the magma chamber? No, it's it may look the same as the magma chamber, but it is not, because batholith would mean that the magma has hardened already. So it has cooled and it has hardened. The magma chamber actually has the magma still running. Well, still as a liquid. Okay? So for 29, it is letter A for your answer. Number 30. Which of the following statements explains how vegetation contributes to the development of soil? A. Vegetation provides the parent material which helps in the formation of soil structure. B. Something that look like roots, twigs, and leaves are washed downwards to increase the depth of the soil. C. Vegetation decomposes to produce the inorganic matter in the soil. And D. Decaying vegetation produces humus, important for its water retention properties. So that is letter D for your answer. Parent material is provided by rocks for A, not by vegetation. When roots, twigs, and leaves wash downwards, they do not make the soil deeper either. Um, Decaying vegetation produces the humus important. So for 30, it is letter D. We have seen questions like this already, but they mix it up a little. They mix up the responses just a little for this specific question that comes about vegetation and the soil. 31. Which of the following are reasons for the sparsely settled inland areas of some Caribbean territories? So, sparsely settled means that you don't have a lot of persons living there, not a lot of people living there, so we say that it is sparse. What are some reasons for sparsely settled inland areas? Okay, so one, the interiors are hilly and forested. Yes, that would be a reason why no one lives there, or why a small amount of persons live there. Two, so anything with one in it, we're looking at as a potential answer. So that is A, B, and D. So C would have been out because it took out one already. Two, the interiors have no natural resources. Uh, Three, transport links with the interior are generally poor. All right, so mm, transport links with the interior are generally poor. That could be why as well. So we would say it is one and three. Why not two though? The interiors have no natural resources. There are several places that have no natural resources and people still choose to live there. So it's not necessarily a reason why those places are sparsely settled. So it is one and three. So for number 31, it is letter B for the answer. So yes, April, you are correct. Jason, Dana, Kyle, Olani and Selecta is right as well. Good job. 32. A river transports load by attrition, corrosion, hydraulic action, and solution. So there is only one type, one river transport that is there, and that is solution. So the transportation, just for memory's sake, the way that a river transports its load is traction. That's when it is basically rolling the bigger materials on the riverbed. Then you have suspension when the materials are saltation, sorry, when the materials are bouncing along the bed. Then you have suspension when the materials are suspended. It's the suspended load, or they're basically floating in the water, and then you have solution. Those are the ones that are dissolved. So 32 would have been letter D. The other three things that are there are actually river erosion processes. 33. Potholes will tend to form on the bed of a river if it has A. High volume of water and flows over a gentle gradient, B. A high volume of water and flows over a steep gradient, C. A low volume of water and flows over a gentle gradient, D. A low volume of water and flows over a steep gradient. So for potholes, first of all, it needs a high volume of water. You need to have a lot of water in the channel for the potholes to be created, because you would have smaller stones that need to be swirled around and hitting on the areas for the area to be eroded for the pothole to form. So high volume of water is A and B, so C and D would have been out. And then now potholes are usually formed in the upper course of the river where you do have a steep gradient. So once you remember where in the river the potholes are usually formed, then you would have a pretty good idea that it is going to be over a steep gradient for that to happen. So that is letter B for your answer for number 33. Number 34, uh, which of the following is the most important factor contributing to the growth of cities in the Caribbean? So it says most important factor now. So international migration, that's not it. Urban to rural, it says growth of cities. So if it is urban to rural, it means that you're leaving the city to go to the country areas, so that's not it either. Changes in the urban boundaries, no. Rural to urban migration, so more persons leaving from the um, country areas to go to the town areas. So that would have been the major factor contributing to the growth. So for 34, it would have been letter D. All right, so I've seen a lot of people getting it right there, getting Rhea, James, and Dana. Good job. 35. Which of the following is a problem of urban areas in Caribbean territories? Problem in urban areas. So we have shortage of labor, which is job shortages. Basically, we just spoke about that up in another question up there. Um, Poor shopping facilities. Usually, you have good shopping facilities in city areas. C, poor housing conditions. D, absence of paved roads. Um, for this one, cities, you do have poor housing conditions. That is why you have so many squatter settlements. And you do have shortage of labor as well. So it is either A or C. Based on the same question that we just did earlier, that asked us to put in both of these as our responses, it would be difficult to choose one now. And the question did not say um, which one is a major problem for you to be able to pick one either. So I would not, if since it's a case like this, where we know of shortage of labor, which is unemployment and underemployment because there are not a lot of jobs available, I would go with C for poor housing conditions because we are sure of the poor housing conditions. That is why there are so many squatter settlements. To be frank, I'm sure of both of them. They are both problems of urban areas in Caribbean territories, shortage of labor and poor housing conditions. But because the general consensus is that persons are going to the city areas to find jobs, and sometimes they do, I would go with letter C for number 35. Even though we just did a question earlier that listed all of the options as unemployment or underemployment as one of the problems in urban areas. Remember that multiple choice, your aim is to select the most suitable answer. So you're picking the best answer or the most suitable answer for the question. So for that one, that is why we would choose number 35. In That's why we would choose letter C, sorry, instead of letter A. Let me know if you understand where we're picking C. 36. Okay, I'm seeing people picking C, or I don't know if it's the C from 30. Hold on. Hold on. All right. So I've seen James, Johnny, Destiny, Ria. Okay, cool. We're good. All right. 36. Which of the following may increase the rate of soil erosion? Afforestation. Afforestation means you're replanting trees. So that would not increase the rate of soil erosion. So one is out. So the only option that is left is letter C. Very intense rainfall. That would increase the rate of soil erosion, poor cultivation, yes, and steep slopes. So our answer is 2, 3, and 4. That is letter C for our answer for number 36. 37. Which of the following territories was the value of manufactured products exported greater than 75% of the total cost? So manufactured products is the one in black here. In which one of the countries is it greater than 75%? Only one is greater than 75%. Hold on. For the black part, that's manufactured goods. So that would have been Barbados for our answer. So for number 37, it is letter A for the answer. Number 38, which of the following territories showed the greatest difference in value between primary and manufactured products? So the difference in value. So it means which one has the greatest contrast? So it would have been this one. Guyana, it has a whole lot of primary products, but a very, very small amount of manufactured products. So for 38, our answer would have been letter B, which is Guyana. 39, which of the following weather conditions is not shown in the diagram above? All right. Frontal rainfall on the mountain top, rain shadow on the leeward side, relief rainfall on the windward slopes, descending dry wind on the leeward side. So first of all, we have to figure out which side is the windward, which side is the leeward. Windward side is the side that the wind is on. So here is our windward side. So this diagram is basically showing us the wind that is coming from the sea and it is climbing over the mountain. So this is showing us relief rainfall. Relief means height of the land. So it is showing us the relief rainfall. In relief rainfall, the air comes over, hot air rises. By the time the hot air rises, it would cool, condense. Rain would be at the mountain top and on the windward side, but the leeward side would not get so much of the rainfall. Well, the leeward side would not get any of the rainfall. So for 39, we're not seeing any rain shadow here at all on the leeward side. So it is letter B for our answer for number 39. Number 40. 40 refers to the following diagram. It's a little bit hard to see. Based on the diagram above, at which one of the following locations is an urban center most likely to be found? So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I don't see where 1 is, but we have done this question already on some other paper. Probably more than one paper, I don't remember. But the best option here, just from looking at the area, since we can't see where 1 is and we can't see where 4 is, the best place on the entire map to put a urban center or a city would have been right here, because you have access to the railway, you have access to the road, you have access to the coastline, and it's a little sheltered area too that you can use for a port, and then you can have a beach at this area, and it is flat land. So your answer for this one would have been 2, which is letter B for number 40. So lots of people getting this right. Good job, guys. Very nice. All right. Number 41. We have seen this question a lot. Well, I don't know if it's a question yet, but we've seen this picture. Yes, it is the same question. The dotted line represents drainage basin, plateau, watershed, or a hilltop. So we already know that hilltop is certainly out. And drainage basin is basically the catchment area. So it's all of in here. So So it is your watershed. So for 41, your answer is the watershed, which is letter C. Let me know if you understand number 41. 42, which of the following statements is true of the water table? It is the lower surface of the zone of saturation in permeable rock. Well, the water table is the upper surface. It is the top part of the zone of saturation. Zone of saturation mean the area where you have water. And if it is the area where you have water, and we're talking about your water table, it means it's going to be the top part. So it's the upper surface of the zone of saturation. So A, lower surface of the zone of saturation, that would have been out. B, upper surface of the zone of saturation in permeable rock, that is correct. Lower surface, no. Upper surface of the zone of saturation in impermeable rock. It would not be impermeable rock. It would have been permeable rock. Upper surface of the zone of saturation in impermeable rock. So the answer for number 42 would have been letter B. 43. Mace, what's the Okay, so the watershed is basically the division between one drainage basin and another. It's like a line that separates where the water is going to run. Is If you know what a ridge is, you would know the top part of the ridge is just that high point, and then the water now would run off one side of the mountain and on the other side of the mountain. Now the area that you are looking at is like a drainage, is like a hmm, like you have a bucket outside or a pan that you bathe in, that babies bathe in, we call it a basin. I don't know which country you live in, but in Jamaica we call it a basin. Let me know if you call it a basin in your country. So the basin now is like that pan that you would put outside when it is raining to catch the rain, right? When you put that outside, the basin is the entire surface that is left to catch the water. So, everywhere that the water falls in the region of the basin, it runs inside the basin itself and it catches it. So that basin is your drainage basin because it is catching or it's catching water for that entire area, or in the case of a river, that drainage basin is that area that is running off the water for that particular area. Now, on the top part of the basin, let me know if you know what basin is, or the top part of the pan, then, or the bucket that you put outside in the rain. The rim section of it, where the rain would fall on and then it splashes off, the top part, that part is what is separating your drainage basin or your pan from the other drainage basins that are around it. So that section right at the top there, that is your watershed, which is the division between one drainage basin and the other drainage basin. Let me know if you understand what I'm saying. All right, so 42 is letter B. 43. Which of the following best describe the vegetation found in tropical continental areas? A. Vast areas of pure stands of trees. B. Trees conical in shape with thick barks. C. Tall grasses with scattered trees. And D. Scrub vegetation consisting of sweet-smelling herbs. So for 43, based on what we know about tropical continental, well, by the way, for tropical continental, you are no longer required to know that on the syllabus. It's not one of the areas, it's not one of the vegetation types that you are required to know. Tropical continental would have tall grasses and then it would have scattered trees. So the trees are not very close together as we are accustomed to tropical, from what we know of tropical rainforests. This is tropical continental. So they are not close together, they're scattered over the landscape. So for 43, the answer would have been letter C. 44. Which of the following make up a composite volcanic cone? So composite means that it is layered, it's composed of more than one thing. So it is one layer of ash, one layer of lava, and one layer of ash, one layer of lava. I'm trying to figure out if we should put cinder in there, but composite cone is really made up of alternate layers of ash and lava. So for 44, it would have been letter A for our answer. Cinders is cinder is basically small fragments of lava that have already hardened. So it's a little different from just the lava itself. But composite cone generally is alternate layers of ash and lava. So for number 44, our answer would have been A, which is 1 and 2 only. For 45, which of the following is not a problem affecting industrial development in the Caribbean? So industrial development, so we're talking basically manufacturing industries. So we have, it says not a problem. So availability of capital, size of the market, size of the labor force, or the quantity of the raw materials. The thing that is really not a problem in the Caribbean is that we always have people to work. So size of the labor force is not a problem. So for number 45, our answer would have been letter C. 46. Which of the following best explains why peasant farmers in the Caribbean grow a variety of crops? So peasant farmers, those would have been your small scale farmers. And what you know about them already, they are small scale farmers, so they don't have a lot. They are growing for themselves and their families, and sometimes if they have leftover, they may sell that at the market. So these are the options for 46. One, to reduce losses caused by pests and diseases. Yes, they grow more than one crop so that they can reduce the losses. Two, to maximize the use of small areas of land. Yes, they do that as well. Three, to ensure steady income all year round so they can have different things at different points throughout the year. Four, to produce for the export market. So we know that they don't produce for the export market any at all. So it would have been 1, 2, and 3. Our answer for 46 would have been letter B. Seems as if something is missing. So it jumped from 46 to 56. Okay. So we're going to just go right into 56 just the same. Items 56 refer to the following, to the diagram below. In the diagram, X represents, so we have transpiration, precipitation, percolation, and evaporation. So we have seen this question a lot as well. X here is representing percolation. So transpiration would have been from the plants, precipitation would have been the rainfall, evaporation would be from the sea there. So our answer for number 56 is C, which is percolation. 57, which of the following is a form of air pollution? So we have mercury poisoning, oil spill, raw sewage, and smog. Smog is a combination of smoke and fog. So these two would be for air pollution, is a form of air pollution. So for number 57, it would have been letter D for our answer. 58, which of the following pose the most serious threat to water quality in rivers of the Caribbean? So the most serious threat to water quality in rivers of the Caribbean. So A, activities by tourists. B, flooding from hurricanes. C, improper fishing practices. And D, dumping of waste. So we know that that answer would have been dumping of waste. That is what poses the most serious threat to the Caribbean. Sometimes it is household waste, but it is normally people that dump the waste there. It's sometimes it's solid waste, sometimes it's liquid waste. Activities by tourists, not so much. Improper fishing practices, not so much either, not at the rivers. So it is D for number 58. For number 59, which of the following practices may help to eliminate problems of pollution created by household waste? We saw this question a lot as well. 59, burying and covering it with soil, depositing in the sea, dumping along water courses, and placing it in secluded spots. So the answer for this one would have been burying and covering it with soil. So it said it is household waste. So the best thing to do is to bury it and cover it with soil so it can decompose. And the final one, number 60, algae nourished by waters enriched with nutrients grow in abundance over the corals, causing them to die. The situation described above can come about through oil pollution. Oil pollution does not cause algae to overgrow. Dredging and mining does not cause algae to overgrow either. Fishing and dynamite does not cause it to overgrow, but sewage discharge causes it to overgrow. So the chemicals that are in the sewage would actually cause the algae to overgrow. They would be nourished and they overgrow too much, and that would cause them to basically kill the corals. So for 60, the answer is letter D. So we have finished this paper. I will post the answer key itself on the blog. So the answer key itself will be there, and this video will be uploaded as well, just in case you want to look back at some of the questions or some of the answers. If you have any questions, you can let me know and I will answer them before I go. Okay, I see some persons asking what blog. I will just type it in the chat for you. so you can go and check it. It has the answer keys. The well, this paper would be on it too. Yeah, this specific paper that we're going through now, that paper is on it as well. It would have the specimen papers on it. It has the answer keys, and then I would attach some of the videos. I'd attach some of the videos for each one as well. Somebody's asking when what? When I'll be going live again. I think it will be tomorrow. As I said, that finish the aim is to finish all of your past papers before your exam. I have already done a crash course for physical geography already. Oh, by the way, guys, if you're not following me on Instagram, you can go there as well. That is where I would post when I am doing each live. I would send an update. Um, I would also post when I am doing the crash courses, or I would put out a poll to ask which topic they want me to cover, etc. Things like that. So I will post the for Instagram as well. Well, it is just Natken Educational Services, just the same for Instagram. So you can look for it. What's the difference between the caldera and the ridge? So the caldera, all right, first of all, caldera is relating to volcano. Ridge is just a part of the high part of a mountain or hill or, yeah, high part of the land. Um, Difference between the caldera and the ridge. Caldera is the volcanic cone itself, where there was a extremely explosive volcano. As a result of the explosion, that would have been a volcano that had acidic lava. As a result of the explosion, the volcano blew off the top of the crater, so it left the top part empty, which would have created an opening. That is what is called a caldera. So the crack or weakness in the Earth's surface would still be there. So from time to time, inside the caldera, you would see you'd see smaller volcanic cones. You'd see smaller volcanic cones actually coming up. If water catches inside the caldera, then it would have been called a crater lake instead of a caldera. Okay. Um, I don't know what the paper ones will be like this year, but to my knowledge, the paper ones were already completed in being set in and everything before the coronavirus. So I figure they would all be left the same because that's the one that they had planned to do already. You may see new questions, but if you do, the good thing is that you would understand things well enough you'd understand things well enough to be able to figure out what your answers are. And the video that I did on multiple choice tips for geography exams specifically, you can check out that video as well. So it would point you out to things like the amount of graphs that are normally on the paper, um, what percentage of the paper is usually map work related activities, um, what the questions that are normally in not questions, sorry, the terms that are normally placed in bold, like the most or the not, things that you specific things in a paper 1 geo exam that you would need to pay specific attention to. It also talks about how to use the process of elimination to find the best answer possible. So you can watch that. You can watch that video. It's specific to the geography multiple choice exam, so it should be good for you. What caused the volcano spine? So the volcano spine, or it's also called a lava spine, is like when the magma or the lava has solidified inside the vent. So when you have very viscous lava or acidic lava, otherwise called andesitic lava, that is, it flows slowly, it is very thick, and it is very sticky, and it cools very, very quickly. So sometimes by the time it is supposed to come out of the volcanic cone, of the vent itself, it cools and it hardens inside the vent. So that itself is what would have created the volcanic spine. Okay. All right. So there are no other questions. Guys, thank you for joining. I know it's late in the night, but I figured I would do one late in the night to see if we can catch some late people who never really got any explanations because we're always doing it in the daytime. Okay? So, again, thank you for joining. Please ensure that you subscribe to the channel so that you can get a notification each time we are going to start a live or when we have uploaded a video. Again, I'll try to finish every single thing before your exam. So we'll go through all of the rest of the past papers that we have. I am going to do one soon for the private candidates who are doing a paper 3. Um, I will also do the crash course for human geography, just like we did for physical geography. So we've finished the physical geography one, so I'll do the crash course for human geography very soon. And we can look into running a map work one. We did a map work, like a map work past paper thingy already. We did a map work thing. It wasn't very long, but we kind of covered some stuff on it. So yeah, that is it. Vegetation for climatic zone. I see that question. That one is a little difficult to explain and it takes a little longer to get into. What I can do is, are you a part of the Discord group that we have? Let me know if you're a part of the Discord group that we have. What I can do, I can just send a very small table that will give you all of the climatic zones, and then it will also give you the type of weather that is taking place at each climatic zone, as well as the type of vegetation that is taking place at each climatic zone as well. So it gives you kind of like an easier way for you to remember everything for each climatic zone. So I can send the link for the discourse as well, but Discord as well. But for okay. For vegetation in general and climate in general, those are just it's that is basically two big topics by itself. So to explain in 2 minutes or less, it's going to be very, very difficult. So I'm gonna try to send the link right now so that you can get to utilize that. So some of the persons in the Discord geography group that we have, they also do Zoom classes from time to time. They had one this morning, they had one yesterday. Um, so once you're in, you can just join, and they will accommodate you. Here it is. I'm posting it in the chat right now. There you go. So you can look on that, and I will send it in there tomorrow. That will be easier for you to look at it in a synopsis of the entire two topics that you asked about. All right, since there are no other questions, let me see. Yeah, no other questions. All right, ensure that you subscribe to the channel. Join the Discord group so you can benefit from that. You can send in your own past paper questions and somebody else will answer it, or I will answer it, or another teacher will jump in and answer it. But somebody will be there to answer your questions, to assist you somehow. Right. Yeah, and you can follow me on Instagram as well. I post one multiple choice questions, maybe about 20 or so per day. So you get little updates on different questions, different explanations throughout the day, and you will know when we're doing a live. You will answer the polls and so we can do more content that caters specifically to what you need before your exams. Okay? So if there are no other questions, again, thank you for joining, and try to go to sleep now. Have a good night or a good morning. Bye.